All right, this is going to be Tiny Dancer by Elton John. The first thing we can do is a little riff here. Okay, so I'm going straight up a C chord. Then I'm hitting the 3rd fret with my pinky here on the 2nd string. And then that 1 on the 2nd string, and then I'm going to hit that one with this 3 on the big string at the same time. So it's... And then I'm going to hit this 2 here on the G string, and I'm going to go back down to that lower one. So I'm going to go 2, 3, 2, and then open 1 on that 2nd string. So it's... Okay, so the end of that again was 2, 3, 2, 0, 1. Okay, and we can do that like 4 times. Okay, so that's a way to kind of simulate the piano fills and stuff in there. Now we're going to get into a kind of a basic strum. We're going to have C and F. So down, down, up, down, up, that kind of thing. 2, 3, and... Now this time we're going to do 2 C's, and then the F. The kind of the last beat of that 2nd measure of F, you're going to hit that G at the end there. So that's your 5, 4, 3, and 3. So once again from this verse, we're going to go 3, 4. And then C twice. F. F, G, and then we repeat all that. Got the C to F twice. And then we'll do the C twice. And the F again. And then the F, G. And now we're going to start a new part. F, E minor 7, which is 2, 0, 3, 0. And then A minor. And then D7. So let's go over those 4 again. So we had the F to the G at the end of that last part. And then we start the new part. F, E minor 7, A minor, D7. Now we're going to go D minor 7, which is 0, 2, 1, 1. Back to the E minor 7, 2, 0, 3, 0. And then A minor 7, which looks like a C basically. And then G7 is 1 on the bottom with the opens. And then we'd be back into another verse, okay? So let's look at this change again. We got F, E minor 7, A minor, D7, D minor 7, E minor 7, A minor 7, which is like C, and G7. And then we're back into a new verse, C and F. The 2 C's. Now this time we're going to do a G descending. So we're kind of having moving notes of the little 3, the little 1, the little open, and the 3 on the 2nd string. So you can kind of strum that G chord with all those moving notes, and then we're going to be back into the C to F. 2 times of the C to F. And now we go ahead and set up the next verse. We're going to do the same stuff. Now we'll do 2 C's. We'll do the F. And the F, G, and back to a C to F verse thing. We'll do the double C. We'll go to the F. F to G. And then we do this as kind of our chorus, this F, E minor 7, A minor 7, D7, D minor 7, E minor 7, A minor 7, G7. And then we're back to a new verse, C to F. We're about to get into a new thing here in a second. We got the double C here. Now this time we're going to do that G descending. And now we have a C to F. But here we're going to do two Cs. Now we're going to get into the bridge. This is going to be an A flat. So this is 6, 5, 4, 4. And you can kind of strum these one at a time. So we're going to go up to B flat, which is 8, 7, 6, 6. And then G minor, 5 with the 3s. C minor is 5, 5, 4, 3. Back to that A flat, 4th fret, twice as long. And the B flat, twice as long. And then it says that kind of softly, slowly line. You can actually slow down at that point. G7. So we got like a back to A flat, twice as long. B flat. So we do it slower on those G7s. And then we come into this kind of like the main chorus. The tiny dancer part. Okay, so we got an F. Kind of jang, 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 jana. Hold me closer. We got the C, then we got D minor twice. You could just go back to the F, but you could do a little E minor on the way to the F. You get your F to C. Now here we're gonna have like a A sus. This is like 2, 2, 3, and open. Back to F, C, D minor. Got your Tony Danza. Kind of walk back to that F, C, and that A sus thing. We got our, so this is 4 times through all this. Back to that A sus thing. And here goes the 4th time. Here we're gonna go. I'm gonna move this up to the F bass, so it's 3, 2, 3 open now. And I'm gonna take this pinky up here on the big 5. And this is the only time that happens, so it's like you kind of add some bass notes. Normally we have the 2 in the bass, we're gonna go to the 3. And then we're gonna have a 5. 5, 2, 3 open. And then we settle on back into some C to F again. So you could do your little riff again there. So 4 times of that. New verse. Double the C, go to the F, F, G, and we'll do that exact same thing again to kind of double that verse section, and then we're going to have that chorus, F, E minor 7, A minor, D7, D minor 7, E minor 7, A minor 7, G7, and then we have another verse set. And this verse set is the one that goes to that G walk down thing. So here we're gonna have our double C and then the G walk down. We got C to F, and then we got got a double C, and this takes us into that A flat thing. So we got B flat, G minor, C minor, A flat, twice as long, B flat. Then we got the G7 softly and slowly, kind of slow down a little bit there. And then we get in that big tiny dancer chorus. F to C, 3 and 4 and we got D minor twice. Can kind of walk to that E, F, C again. And then we got that A sus. Okay, so we roll through this thing 4 times. Let's say this is the 4th one. We're gonna do that sus thing. Now we're gonna go to that 3 bass. But we're not gonna go to that next one. We're just gonna go to the C to F, C. Ends up being 3 times, and then we're done. So I suppose you could at the end go. Just do it 3 times. All right, Tiny Dancer, Elton John. Hope you dug that. This will have a tab and chord chart and all that with it. So basically our biggest changes were the F, E minor 7, A minor to D7, D minor 7, E minor 7, A minor 7, G7. So this is a good little workup on your chords as well to double check everything. We got A flat chord here, we got a B flat, we got G minor and C minor, we got G7, we also had like F and C, D minor, and we had an A sus, and then we had that different bass, and we had this different bass. All right, Tiny Dancer, Elton John, thanks a lot. Talk to you all soon.